I've got the top 10 must-adds in fantasy basketball coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. I'm going to count down the top 10 must-adds for Week 11 in the fantasy basketball season. If you like this content, please smash that like button. And a special thanks to all of our subscribers who have been watching these videos, as you now account for 15% of all viewers. To the other 85% of viewers that haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so, as it helps me create these videos for you. Also, leave a comment on a player that you think deserves to be on this list. To qualify for the list, all players must be owned in no more than 60% of leagues. This episode is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy Sports. Use the promo code BEATTHEODDS to double your first deposit up to $250. And first-time users get a free square. Like on New Year's, if you bet on James Harden to score 1 point and he does, then you win. Let's go to number 10, Trayce Jackson-Davis, 30% owned, 22 minutes per game over the last 2 weeks, 10.8 points, 9.2 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.5 steals, 1.2 blocks, 1.2 turnovers on 67% shooting from the field and 70% from the line. Jackson-Davis was on a heater over the past 2 weeks, posting very fantasy-friendly lines in limited minutes. Saric, who had 19 minutes and is averaging 10.9 points, 4.6 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and Looney, in 18 minutes, 4.4 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 2.3 assists, have not been as effective in the same amount of floor time, which may give Jackson-Davis an edge in minutes for the moment. Once Draymond Green returns from his suspension, which could be this week, we should pay close attention to see how they will allocate minutes to Jackson-Davis. At number 9, we have Alex Caruso, 41% owned, 29 minutes per game over the last 2 weeks, 11.5 points, 4.8 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.5 threes, 1.2 steals, 0.7 blocks, 1.7 turnovers, on 51% shooting from the field and 89% from the line. Caruso has seen his minutes climb over the past week or so, which is a well-deserved boost. We are all familiar with Caruso's pesky defensive ways, and now with Vucevic down for a week, some of the team's offensive burden will also rest on his shoulders. He can contribute to every category, which makes him an enticing player to own at least until Vucevic returns. To number 8, we have Aaron Nesmith, 26% owned, 28 minutes per game over the last 2 weeks, 12.4 points, 4.4 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 2.7 threes, 1.4 steals, 1.3 blocks, 1.7 turnovers on 51% shooting from the field and 100% from the line. Solid defensive three-point marksmen are in high demand as they contribute to crucial counting stats in fantasy. Nesmith is emerging as an OG Anunoby prototype. In fact, if you look at both in a per 36 lens, OG, who has 16.6 points, 4.3 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and Nesmith also at 16.6 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists, there's not a whole lot of difference outside of more assists for OG and more stocks actually for Nesmith. Now, of course, Nesmith needs to cross 30 minutes per game each night to realize that value. Let's go to number 7. We have Grayson Allen, 44% owned. Over the last 2 weeks, we have 34 minutes per game, 16.2 points, 4.8 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2.8 threes, 1.3 steals, 0.8 blocks, 1.3 turnovers on 52% shooting from the field and 92% from the line. Bradley Beal is back, which is pushing Eric Gordon to the bench and is going to remove some of the offensive burden off of Allen. Or so we thought. Now, it's just one game, but Beal's output in 30 minutes, which was 6 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, paled in comparison to Allen's in 33 minutes, at 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. I stick by my hot take that Allen's proving to be more valuable on a fantasy team than Beal, and that's going to stick around throughout the rest of this season. To number 6 we go. We have Patrick Williams, 54% owned over the last 2 weeks. He has 33 minutes per game, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 2.3 threes, 0.7 steals, 0.6 blocks, 1.1 turnovers, on 55% shooting from the field and 100% from the line. 3 and D is the theme of the week, and P. Will is on this list because he's finally getting the minutes he deserves. He's playing 38 minutes against Indiana, and despite rolling his ankle, he's expected to suit out for Chicago tonight against the 76ers. Outside of his 6-point dud that he had against the Hawks on Tuesday, he has posted at least 13 points with 2 threes, and is capable of pulling up adequate rebounding and stock numbers as well. To number 5, we have Dante Exum, 39% owned. Past 2 weeks, he's got 30 minutes per game, 13.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.1 threes, 1 steal, 0.1 blocks, 1.9 turnovers on 61% shooting from the field and 91% from the line. Coach Jason Kidd has put speculation to rest when he named Exum a starter once Kyrie Irving returns. This is one large step to Exum ownership taking a major spike. He is going to slot in as a third or fourth option on a team that Luka and Kyrie will be very ball dominant, but simply his presence on the court besides one or both will lead to easy shots, and judging by his 61% field goal percentage over the last 2 weeks, he could see a nice little boost in scoring as well. At number 4, we have Tari Eason, 54% owned, 27 minutes per game over the past 2 weeks, 10.8 points, 6.7 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 0.5 threes, 3 steals, 0.5 blocks, 0.8 turnovers, on 44% shooting from the field and 67% from the line. Eason belongs on the all-hustle team if the NBA ever decides to create one. His dedication to grabbing offensive rebounds and his penchant for finding himself in passing lanes is a true testament to the work that he puts in while he's on the floor. Eason has been a per-36 gem, and we have all been waiting for Houston to start tossing more minutes his way. He's starting to see the floor more, with Jabari Smith Jr. missing time with an ankle injury. Let's go to number 3. We have Brandin Podziemski, 58% owned, 29 minutes per game over the past 2 weeks, 11.7 points, 6.3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.9 threes, 1.7 steals, 0.3 blocks, 1.9 turnovers, on 48% shooting from the field and 88% from the line. If Pods is somehow still available on your wire, then your league mates are just not paying attention. We've been waiting for someone to step into the limelight on an aging Golden State squad, and we may have got it in Podziemski. He is another all-hustle guy capable of contributing to every category, and he has been an active playmaker for the team. Once Draymond gets back, there's likely going to be a usage shift, but I'd say there's a lot less risk here than you might think. To number 2, we have Jaden Ivey, 53% owned, 32 minutes per game over the past 2 weeks, 17.7 points, 6 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.7 threes, 1.2 steals, 1.2 blocks, 2.5 turnovers, on 44% shooting from the field and 69% from the line. When will Detroit win a game? Well, I'm not sure, but it's likely going to happen with both Ivey and Cunningham as the starting backcourt. The team's starting to listen, giving Ivey at least 28 minutes on the court in 7 straight games, and he's responded, posting numbers in every category, including a block in 4 straight. Ivey is looking like a real deal in fantasy moving forward, so you should act fast before you miss your shot on him. And finally, at number 1, we have Andre Drummond, 60% owned over the past 2 weeks, 19 minutes, 9.1 points, 10.6 rebounds, 0.4 assists, 1.9 steals, 0.7 blocks, 1.1 turnovers on 62% shooting from the field and 63% from the line. Drummond was the player that most added over the past week. Once news broke on Vucevic's injury, he rewarded managers who picked him up before his first start by posting a ridiculous 24.25 rebound performance. Now, it's not that far-fetched to think that this type of line could be a normal amount of production from 38 minutes of court time with Andre Drummond, given that his per-36s are 17.3 points and 20.1 rebounds. If by some miracle he is still available on your wire, drop what you're doing right now and go get him. And that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on this video and of course subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We are going to sign off for now, but I'm going to catch you guys on our next episode.